From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. It's the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, we told you we're going to be taking a look at a great personality on the show this morning. And we told you it's going to be none other than Alexander Usyk, the current undisputed heavyweight boxing champion, at a stand. And of course, doing this with me this morning, no other than Oreneme, a boxing expert. Assistants. Good morning to you and welcome to ATN Sports Personality Show. All right, thank you very much for joining us. We're really happy, of course, to have you. Let's dive straight to the life of Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk was born to Alexander and Tetesha Usyk. His father was a military man and his mother was a physical education teacher. He also said that his father was his first boxing coach, and he was in poor health, so his doctors advised his parents to enroll him in the sports section. As a child, he was involved in folk dancing, judo, and soccer, but boxing was the one that interested him the most. At the age of 15, he began training under the guidance of Sir Lipin, who recognized the talent of a champion. Usyk graduated from Simfopel Secondary School, number 11, and Level State University of Physical Culture. Gogo, what do you make of his early life, his background, talking about his family, his father being a military man, and of course his mother also being a teacher as well? You think all of that also contributed to who Alexander Usyk is today?
Yeah, I think he contributed greatly. One of the beautiful things about having parents that are intentional, you see the dividends later in life. So if Alexander Usyk's parents were not intentional, now it's a little bit of fortune because the medical reports that for him to go into sports and go into sports actively, it was not passive, but it was very active. But you can see intentional parenting on one hand. You can also see a child committed to doing the work on the other hand. So it's kudos to his parents, but also you can also see why education is important. The parents were educated enough to make that choice, the options that they got, but they were active enough to ensure it was not just go and do your stuff. They infused that habit in him. There must have been mornings where he didn't want to go to training, but his dad and his parents were not having any of that. they pushed him, they ensured that he went for it. The other side is you can see that there's dancing in there. That is where he gets his footwork from. And I think it's the same school where the other guy that is being trained, the other Lomachenko, that is called the same school of boxing. One of the beautiful things about this guy is the ability to move in tight spaces. They punch you in zone A, move to zone F, because most of the times when a puncher throws a punch, you're expecting him to be in the same place, but not Usyk, not Lomachenko. That's why Lomachenko is called the matrix. So you can see the importance of boxing. You can see that him being very active as a child translated into him becoming the personality he is today, and that's what we're talking about on the sports personality today. I think this should also serve as an educational platform to parents. Ensure you get your child in activities. Now, it's not necessary that your child might become a world champion, but it was basically said for health he needs to be active. His parents did that, and today it's yielding dividends. We'll go on to talk about what is accomplished in life and the amount of money he spent. But it all starts from parents' investment. So this should be a guide to the parents. Now, I'm not going to call the parents. Ensure you are active enough in the life of the children, but at the same time, give them opportunity for them to do something they love doing. So we'll talk about his love for the game, but the child do it. Parents showing best enough, compelling him to do something, and him following the advice and becoming who he is today.
Impressive, Gogo. Very, very much, very, very impressive down there. Taking a look at that, just like you said, let's say the advice and as well how the parents, actually took care of him. I think that has also contributed, to who he is, today. And talking about his education, Usyk received his secondary education at St. Ferropol Secondary School, number 11, where he studied Ukrainian, Russian, English, and German, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, history, literature, music, drawing, and physical education. He graduated with honors in 2004. Now, after high school, he entered the Lviv State University of Physical Culture, Faculty of Sport Games. He studied the theory and the methodology of physical education, anatomy, physiology, psychology, pedagogy, sociology, management, law, economics, computer science, boxing, football, volleyball, basketball, handball, table tennis, chess, and checkers. He received his master's degree in physical education and sports in 2008. Gogo, while growing up and as well attending school and all of that, Usyk, of course, had that opportunity to, of course, engage himself in sport like football, volleyball, tennis. But why did he settle down finally for boxing?
Sometimes it's guidance. That's why, you see colleagues have something called guidance and counseling. Because I believe guidance played a part. You can just observe someone, look at the nature and say, okay, the person would definitely feel hand in glove in the right direction. Usyk still plays football once in a while, but you can't compare his boxing skill to his footballing skill. I think I am better at football than Usyk. That's the joke, by the way. But at the same time, I also, but I'm doing a good boxer than Usyk. So if he had prioritized becoming a footballer, he might have done well. But at the same time, boxing is a sport where you rely on your team in terms of coaching and all the rest. But it's one-on-one. You versus your opponent. It's not a team sport. So sometimes there are some athletes who thrive more in a one-on-one sport than a team. Because as a team, how good is the Ukrainian side? They've never really gone so far in the World Cup. Never won. So his accomplishment would have been little low compared to what he is today. If he was for a nation like Spain, Brazil, this top Argentina, cream nations in the world of football, maybe he might have excelled, or maybe He might be a big patrol, he might even get a medal, but the name Alexander Usyk won't be a household name, not just in the world of boxing, but in the world globally. So I think sometimes giving these people an opportunity, giving them a plethora of options, one, but giving them an opportunity to pick the one that is best, that you, it's the importance of guidance and counseling. And in as much as it's a sport, this is also an opportunity for parents to be active in ensuring they guide their children in the right path that aligns with them. If Alexander Usyk's father was a football coach and he said, I want you to become a football star, who knows, he would not have become who he is today. So give them the opportunity, give them options, and let them go in line with what their skill set and their talent is. And that is the importance of education. And education also. There's a legendary boxer in the 80s and in the 90s. He blipped into the early 2000s before Leonard Lewis took out. He had issues with his promoter. But I also, education was the problem. Because if he was educated enough, he would be able to know the steps to take. So that did not help his lack of education. Today, he's still fighting, children in the youth world. If I make myself available for that, but most likely would take me. That is not what he wants. That is the importance of education. And I can see kudos to his parents for guidance and ensuring he got that. Education is also important. You might not need it in the ring.
Yeah.
But there are some courses that he did that has to do with boxing, that have to do with anatomy. So you're also studying the human body to know where to hit and where not to get hit. Because what is boxing? A simple sport. Hit and not get hit. But by studying the human body, you need pressure points, pressure trigger. Education is not a scam. Education is very important for every individual.
Impressive one, Gogo. Let's also take a look at his career now. Usyk, of course, started his career as an amateur boxer. He participated in many competitions at various levels where he has shown strong results. He became the champion of Ukraine in 2005, 2006, 2008, 2011, the European champion in 2008, world champion in 2011, Olympic champion in 2012 in his weight category. He also competed for the Ukrainian Ataman's team in the World Series of Boxing, where he won 6 out of 6 fights. In 2013, he turned to professional boxing, signing a contract with K2 Promotion, a company owned by the Klitschko brothers. He made his debut on November 9, 2013, defeating Mexican Felipe Romero by knockout in the 5th round. Since then, he has fought 21 times, winning 21 fights, 14 of them by knockout. He became the WBO World Heavyweight Champion in 2016, defeating Krzysztof Klowacki of Poland by unanimous decision. He has defended his title 4 times, defeating Americans Tabiso Mohona, German Marco, Lavian Maris, and Russian Murat Kosev. In his last fight, he also won the WBC, IBF, WA, and the ring title, becoming the absolute world heavyweight champion. Let's hold it there, Gogo. What do you make of Usyk when he started his amateur career?
One of the things you can't take away, Ukraine, Cuba, America as well. Brazil is known more for their mixed martial arts than their boxing. But these guys, Russia too, let's not say Russia. Russia also, but these guys are getting more glory from martial arts. But what these guys do is pick up loads and loads of experience in the amateur level. Amateur fight is an opportunity for you to learn your trade without getting any advantage, any disadvantage as a professional. You go in, you learn the sport, and I tell you, he's not lost any fight in the ring as a professional. As an amateur, he took some losses. Alexander Usyk too had over 200 and some. Lomachenko had 200 and something amateur fights. Same for Alexander Usyk. There's a reason why these amateur fights are important. because you iron out your excesses, you iron out your flaws. You face different opponents from different parts of the world, giving you different styles, showing you something you've never seen before. The guys that blew up to the limelight, especially there are some of them in the heavyweight division that did not last the test of time. If you check their amateur record, it's very poor. But the ones that sometimes go on to do great things, you can see there's a consistency in building them up. So that is what the amateur career does to a fighter. Take him through all the tests, through all the rigors, so that when he comes out into boxing, no matter the time he does, some people say it's a little too late, but he is prepared for the big man's game. He will still need to make adjustments though, because the amateurs, it's different, the rules are different. But it's the same hit and not get hit. And as long as he is done his basic, he's dot his eyes and he's crossed his teeth in the amateurs, he will do well for himself. All he will need to do is adjustment. And Alexander Usyk, and you know, I call Lomachenko into this because their paths cross in terms of being coached by the same person, but also they are similar, not just in styles, but when they get into the ring, what their performance is very, very similar. And that is the beautiful thing about the boxing. And about being an inspiration. Towards the end of the show, we'll talk about him as an inspiration. But as he stands now, Alexander Usyk as a person is showing you a path to take if you want to become a professional. Your amateur career is more important than becoming a professional, because that is where you learn the skills of becoming a very good boxer. And also, you talked about his promotion.
Yeah.
I think it's about times, and I said, and if I've seen further, because I stood on the shoulders of those ahead of me. You've seen the inspiration of the Klitschko brothers. Yeah, so many persons can talk about their reign in the heavyweight division as being boring. But boring or not, those guys dominated the division for years. Dr. Steelhammer and his brother dominated the division for years, but it served as an inspiration for some. They burnt out their candle in the world of sport. Alexander Usyk picked up the candle, lit his own, and is holding the torch for Ukrainian boxing, not just for Ukrainian boxing, but for Ukrainian personalities and Ukrainian light shining beacons of hope. And that is what Alexander Usyk has done. So we got to the two Klitschko brothers. Even though there were reports at the beginning that Alexander Usyk went into the training camp of Vladimir Klitschko, he does it a lot. He brings in young guys to come. A two-way street. One, you're showing them how to become better professionals, but also you're sizing them up for the future. Remember when Joshua was also in the camp of Klitschko to spar. He brings in guys to check them out, so that if the future, if he wants to fight them, he already has enough data, like he did with the hard drive he gave the promoters before his fight, saying this is how he's going to defeat these guys. But also you're showing them the ropes as an OG in the business, and that is basically what he has done. On the other hand, you're looking at fighters that are people. Alexander Usyk is definitely that, and you can see the projection. So big ups to the Klitschko brothers for setting up that promotion. We have a couple of them here in Nigeria, especially in mixed martial arts. Kamaru Usman, I think Israel Adesanya is also working on something. Francis Ngannou also signed a deal for PFL Africa. This is how we're going to get talent from this part of the world to go global.
Impressive one. Let's also take a look at, let's take a dive to his heavyweight boxing career as well. Now, he made his debut at the new weight on October 2019. October 12, 2019, defeating American Charles Witherspoon by technical knockout in the 7th round. And in 2020, he had his second heavyweight fight, meeting the British Derek Chisora. Usyk defeated Chisora by unanimous decision, showing his high technique and speed. And in 2021, he got a chance to fight for the WBA, IBF, and WBA heavyweight titles against the British superstar Anthony Joshua. This fight took place on September 35th, 2021 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. And Usyk surprised the world by defeating Joshua by unanimous decision, becoming the first Ukrainian to win the heavyweight champion. And Usyk dominated the fight using his mobility, accuracy, and intelligence. He also managed to withstand Joshua's powerful punches, showing his resilience and bravery. And in 2022, he had a rematch with Joshua, which took place on March 12, 2022 in Cardiff, Wales. Usyk repeated his success by defeating Joshua by technical knockouts in the 11th round, defeating his WBA, IBF, and WO titles. And Usyk demonstrated his superiority over Joshua by controlling the distance, knocking him out of breath, and causing him injuries. Usyk ended the fight with a powerful left hook that forced the referee to stop the fight. Gogo, what do you make of him, of course, diving into the heavyweights and then taking out big names? Gogo? Gogo? Yeah? We're there on break. We're there on break.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we
You're welcome back. Steve Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network, and of course, we're talking about Alexander Usyk. Everything, of course, you need to know about Alexander Usyk this morning. Current undisputed heavyweight boxing champion is at the moment, and of course, that's why, of course, we're taking a look at what the man has done so far. Gogo Oridemi, boxing expert down here in Nigeria, is still with us, and together we're taking a look at the life of Alexander Usyk. Gogo, nice to have you back. We're talking about the heavyweight heavyweight part of the heavyweight fighting career of the man Alexander Usyk. I don't know what you make of it. He got into the heavyweight and took out big names like Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua, of course, and the rest. What do you make of his prowess? One, of course, would think of the fact that coming into the heavyweights is going to struggle, but that was never the case for Alexander Usyk.
Yes, before we just dip into the heavyweight division, before we sink our teeth into the heavyweight, let me just wheel it, like my Jamaican friends say, back to the cruiserweight. He dominated the cruiserweight division. And I think this should also be a lesson for fighters, especially our American don't like to fight outside America. Boxing is a global sport. Alexander Usyk did what he was supposed to, in my opinion, going into different territories, conquering different kingdoms, and collecting wealth. So when time came for him to do it in the heavyweight division, he was not a problem anymore because he was used to the host environment. He depended on his skill, not on home advantage. And that is what a good boxer should rely on. Now, home advantage can count in a close fight and all, you can sway the judges, but the most important thing is your skill set. If your skill ain't great, you won't be able to get those wins. And that's what Alexander Usyk has proved with in most of his cruiserweight fights. The World Boxing Series where the world took notice of the talent of Alexander Usyk. But the way he dominated the cruiserweight, it was too good, it was too impressive. There were some difficult moments, but he cleaned out. This is like a proper clean. You know, when your mom after Christmas gives you the pot to say, wash this pot and wash it clean. That was how Alexander Usyk washed out the cruiserweight division. His decision to move up was welcome, but at the same time, in the of heavyweight. If you're looking at, the Ali era, and now these guys are supposed to be the super heavyweight. Talking about the Tyson Fury, Joshua, not even Witherspoon, Chisora, Dylan White. These guys are supposed to be super heavyweight. And that was why in the Joshua fought in super heavyweight. Alexander used to fought in the heavyweight. If there was a cruiserweight division that was bubbling, would have most likely gone there. So the transition from cruiserweight to heavyweight was not small issue. It was a big deal. And we saw him when he came up. He got a couple of injuries. He could get injuries and all the rest. And I then thought, this guy won't be able to cope with the heavyweight division. One, because you're getting muscle, you're putting on a little bit of fat to be able to withstand the power from this big guy. Your body is not used to it, and you're not the youngest of chaps. But Alexander Usyk proved to me that with patience, you go cook stone, you go shut down. It was not just the lyric to a song. He took his time, gained the right way, found the right balance, and boom, he entered. Till then, I still feel his most challenging fight in terms of physical, not technical skills now, was the fight against Eric Zora. That was the most fight where he got bashed around the most. But what did he do about it? That's why I was very confident that Joshua was going to beat him. If Chisora can rough you up and about, Joshua should be able to do more than that. But he came in and proved everybody wrong, that it is about skill, not punching power. But it also showed that he has a chin, because most persons were saying, what will happen when he gets rough? Anytime you rough Alexander Usyk, because you take a round away from him, get ready. He's bringing the entire force in the world to him at his back for the next round. He doesn't lose 2 consecutive rounds. That is what he does consistently in all it. If he has a bad round, let's say it's 10-8, which really the next round, it comes in his, because he wants you to know that he is in the game. So in the heavyweight, we've seen his skill, we've seen his technique, we've seen his marvelous footwork. But most persons don't talk about a glorious change. Because I tell you, in going 24 rounds with Anthony Joshua, in going 24 rounds with Tyson Fury, he's taking punches. It's not Neo in the Matrix that dodged best. No, he's taking hits. You see him after the fight, eyes swollen, bruised up bodies. He's taking punches. But his skill and his durability has been tested. In era of cruiserweights moving to heavyweight, he's just above the real deal. This man they call the real deal. He's the first person to move from cruiserweight to heavyweight. His name leads me now, but his nickname is the real deal. That's how good of a boxer he is, because people are not expecting the power to translate. He's never been a powerful guy. Most persons were not expecting the chin to translate into an institution, but he's coming in the skill. And like grandmother used to say, if a blind man tells you he wants to stone you, check well, the stone is under his foot. He came into the division, he said, when the Joshua twice, I'm going to fight for this future. Everybody laughed at. I remember Joshua fight at Wembley, I think when he fought for the king, seated in the crowd and he was looking at him. Also, another important point, there can be no talk about overanalyzing a fighter. Because when you see him fight these guys, you can see that proper analysis has gone into studying their strengths and their weaknesses. So even though you could take a couple of leads and a couple of punches, he was always one step ahead of them all the time. Looks like he predicts their move before they make the move. That's how good of a boxer he is. And that's how good of an IQ Alexander Usyk has. Remember we talked about the pedigree as an amateur. That's what all those amateur fights do for you. Check out the guys he's dominated in heavyweight. How many of them have a good amateur record? Very few. And that is important, the building block of the amateur system.
All right. In all of this, go moving from the amateur to the cruiserweight and down to the heavyweight, still dominating. What do you think is the reason? What do you think has made Alexander Usyk so special? What do you think has actually kept him this up to this moment? What's the special thing about him? What's the unique fact that has kept him so high to this point?
After the Fury 2 fight, I came to a conclusion that the only way you defeat Usyk is if he is defeated, or if Father Time said it's enough. Now, Father Time is undefeated. You can't defeat Father Time. When the time is right, Valhalla when it's high. And I think that's what he needs to do. Hopefully he does that, because you don't want to see him start in the ring, lying down, looking up, and they're trying to give him oxygen. You don't want that. But what I think has kept him up is his mentality. They say skills pay bills. Alexander Usyk is a perfect example to that saying. But also his mentality. His mentality is top notch. And another thing that has worked for him is he stopped fighting for himself. He started fighting for the Ukrainian people. Because, there's no need for us to take a deep dive into politics, but you know what's happening there. And the people need a beacon of hope. And that is what Alexander Usyk has been for them. So he knows he's no longer fighting for himself, he's fighting for millions of people back home and people in the world that support their cause. That gives you another level of responsibility, but it also comes with power. You know you can't fail. You don't have any other option to fail. You don't have any other option. If you fail, you fail people. You don't just lose and they raise the hand of the opponent and say, lose the winner, so and so, lose that person. No. Millions of people. You are a beacon of hope for people. So that gives you a responsibility, but also comes with power. It means you cannot stay out of training camp for long. And Alexander Usyk was in a couple of days after fighting Fury for the second time. Because with great power comes responsibility, and he understands it perfectly. So his mentality, his skill, and fighting for people just beyond himself and his pocket. Those are one of the reasons why this guy is where he is today in boxing. And I would be shocked if he wins the sports personality award for the year, because of the desire to go through. It is not easy fighting, and you know that there's a chance you might never see your close friends, your relatives again, because of what is happening in your country. So he took that all upon himself, use it as a motivating factor to go into training. I tell you the truth, no boxer comes in from a training camp 100%. A couple of bruises here, a couple of cuts, couple of damages around the body, you are sore. But these guys, that's why it's a great sport. These guys come in, giving their all. That is why I also don't like a situation where their money is putting their life on the line for this. So pay them what is worth. And big ups to Turkey for ensuring the boxers are getting a good dough for putting their life on the line.
Let's talk about his achievements. Usyk, one of the most successful boxers in history, is the first Ukrainian to become the absolute world champion in the first heavyweight division, the world heavyweight champion. According to the WA, IBF, and WBO. He is also the first boxer to win all 4 major belts in 2 divisions. He is the 2012 Olympic champion, 2011 world champion, 2008 European champion, and 4-time Ukrainian amateur boxing champion. He is undefeated in professional boxing with 21 wins from 31 fights. He is one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world according to various rating organizations, and he is the recipient of various awards and recognition such as Honored Masters of Sport of Ukraine, the Ring Magazine Gold Belt, People's Hero of Ukraine, Sport Illustrated Athlete of the Year, and others. He is one of the most popular and influential athletes in Ukraine and the world. And talking about his personal life, Usyk's wife is Yekaterina Usyk. They were married in 2009 and have 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons. Of course, the man's bank account is very huge. We understand, of course, his net worth is estimated to be around $50 million. That's about 40 million pounds. He has amassed this wealth primarily through his successful boxing career and a substantial sum from his high-profile fights, particularly his 2 bouts against Joshua and his recent fight against Tyson Fury. The Ukrainian has endorsement deals with various brands, including Rival Boxing Equipment, Jackset Clothing, and Lumos Fashion. Usyk's net worth has seen significant growth in recent years, concerning move to the heavyweight division and his victories over prominent opponents. Gogo, let's just end it here because our time is up. If, of course, we can talk about Usyk for a very long time, but we have to end it here due to our time. But what next for the man, Gogo? What next for Alexander Usyk? Because as it stands now, he is the current undisputed heavyweight boxing champion. What next for him?
Oh, Usyk is in Thailand right now. I remember they asked him the same question. I was like, I need to go home, keep the family, embrace them, shut the doors, shut the windows, drop my mobile phone, and just look into the sunset. But I think he loves the sport so much that he'll be back very soon. What next for Alexander Usyk? A fight against Donald Dubois is on the cards. Some persons say it was a controversial win. To me, there was nothing controversial because that point was below the belt. So Usyk is, and there was no point in that fight besides that low blow. Alexander Usyk was in trouble against Donald Dubois. Dubois has had a very fantastic 2024, coming back from being called a triple knee, quitting to becoming an IBF holder. But at the same time, Usyk is talking about going back to the cruiserweight. That's how much he's made the heavyweight division boring, that he wants to go back down. And I looked at the cruiserweight. They are not done that anymore. Besides this Jai Opotaka.
Okay, Gogo, you have to wrap it up. We have to wrap it up. Our time is up. Just try and wrap it up, please. Yes, I know we don't have much time again.
Yes, besides Jai Opotaka at the cruiserweight, there's no name for it. So you will go down to cruiserweight, clean it up again. But I want him to leave when the time is right, because if he doesn't, his legacy won't be beaten, but people won't remember him as fondly as they were supposed to.
All right, thank you very much for joining us, Gogo. Really do appreciate your time. We have to call it up at this point. I'll be back next week. My name is Kingsley Mano. Thanks for watching.